speak, but I would like to move support for the recommendation, but I needed to change the wording a bit when I looked at this again. It's page 190, and the recommendation is under 6.1. Cabinet are requested to adopt the beach management plan and agree option 2 of the recommendation, allowing officers to take forward the required work as identified in 3.2 and 3.3, subject to existing delegations and budgetary restrictions. I have been working with colleagues and cross-party for a very long time on this, and what really concerned me when we took control of the council in 2011 was the importance of getting the place right if we were serious about tourism, and we needed to have an audit, a proper audit of all of our beaches, and certainly looking to not just the beach itself, but the hinterland and the shelters and loos and all that goes with it. So, every penny spent is valuable because tourism is worth this 230 million plus a year to us. So we have a huge task ahead of us now in developing the plans and with our various stakeholders. We've allocated money through the Destination Management Plan and used Interreg funding. We work very closely with Visit Kent, and I feel that we're now at this next stage. So I'm moving the recommendations myself, but I do have Councillor Saunders and Councillor Bruce. If I have a seconder first, thank you, and then I'll bring in Councillor Saunders and then Councillor Bruce. But I would like to thank all members who've helped with this cross-party. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, I found it a very thorough report, and I have to say, obviously my emphasis would be with regards to Broadstairs, as you would quite rightly imagine, and I'm pleased to see that Viking Bay is the most popular bay in the district. And I have to say, it was being enjoyed this morning by Dame Maggie Smith, although I didn't recognise her when she walked past me. I'm also pleased to see that in... No, she didn't recognise me either. I'm pleased to see in 7.24 that we're looking to form a steering group and working closely with all of the relevant parties in Broadstairs again. So I'm concentrating on Broadstairs, my apologies. So I'm looking forward to that being very broad-based. My main concern is following the members' briefing that we had from Mark the other evening with regards to water quality and the ongoing qualification of bays like Viking, which we know do suffer from time to time. So yes, I'm very, very pleased, and hopefully we'll see the proposals that the dear departed Jack Tulloch came up with for the rear terrace brought into being. So just a comment, really.
Thank you, Councillor Harrison. Are you going to mention our visit to the sewerage works?
I can mention that, and I'm sure that you and Madeline thoroughly enjoyed yourselves. Although you couldn't breathe very deeply at the time. I just actually want to reassure Councillor Saunders, it's probably not widely known in the council that we actually, in conjunction with Southern Water, Environment Agency, Kent County Council, Destination Management, Surfers Against Sewage, we've actually set up a working party to look at actually bathing water quality in advance of the new regulations coming in next year, and we're working very closely with Southern Water. Southern Water say they're very keen to see an improvement in bathing water quality. Southern Water are aware of the new regulations and the new restrictions that will be placed on them, so hopefully that group can do some really positive work and move forward and make sure the water quality, it falls within not the two sections that Mark Steve mentioned the other night, but the really top section, the excellent section, as indeed we are in most of the way around our coast. I should declare an interest because, like Councillor Bruce, I'm a sea angler. Clean water means better fishing as far as I'm concerned, so yeah, I think we're all in favour of cleaner water, and long may it continue, so please be reassured about that.
Thank you, Councillor Bruce.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, Councillor Harrison quite rightly points out, yes, sea quality, water quality in the sea is very, very important. And it's also worth pointing out that year on year we've had an improvement in water quality in that area. I remember way back when I used to go fishing at Fourness Point off the sewage pipes, which were sometimes active, sometimes not. You really did wonder why you were fishing there when you saw number 36's whatever flowing past. Yeah, fortunately those days are long behind us, and we were in a very positive place. I think you know exactly what I'm talking about. Anyway, yes, my comments really focused on 2.8, where the phrase, it is important to consider new ways of delivering beach management. I think it's fair to say that with regard to my old topic, seaweed, we've had a relatively good year this year. Whether that's down to the volume that's come on shore or not, I'm not privy to. Mark Seed would obviously have those figures. And it would be a brave cabinet member that put his head or her head above the parapet and said that's because we have a good system in place, because we all know that in previous years that has gone completely the other way. So I would like to know whether, on the basis of those comments in this report, the cabinet member does have any new ideas coming forward for the management of seaweed collection. And by this I specifically mean the collection off the beach. I'm not concerned primarily with where it goes, because that is a moving feast to a certain point of view, but I have had and remain to have concerns about how we actually manage the collection in terms of frequency and reactive times when things are pointed out to the officers. Thank you.
I shall ask, I mean, we clear nearly 4,000 tonnes a year, I think it is, but I'll ask my director to respond to that.
Before you go to Mark, it's always been an issue. It's been an issue years ago when they used to push the seaweed back out and it came in on the next tide. We do not allow that to happen anymore. Well, nowadays we really need to clear it, and you're absolutely right. We have to get it moved as quickly as possible. We were very lucky this year with less seaweed, but we can't guarantee what will happen next year. Mark, would you like to come in, please?
Yes, thanks very much. Yes, we undertake a daily assessment of where seaweed is around on the beaches across the season. It's clearly affected about access to beaches. Some of them are very difficult to access with the type of machinery. Well, if you can only do it by hand, and the amount that can be shifted is relatively small. It clearly is affected when the high tide occurs. So often we're clearing the beaches at 4 o'clock in the morning. We do recognise it's a key issue, but we also recognise that we can't spend an unlimited amount of money on it. My view, it was very successful this year, though actually the amount of seaweed coming in was one of our lighter years. If we do get bigger amounts of material, then we do have facilities in the budget to up the level of activity that we can take. But the operative who does the work, mainly does the work associated with this, knows exactly where the seaweed comes in what quantities, he assesses it on a daily basis, and we always apply the resources to the worst area on any given day. And in the main, that works very successfully. I think there are occasions where we do need to ramp the level of resources up. It wasn't required this season, but clearly, if we do get a more productive season in relation to seaweed, we do have the facilities to be able to increase the amount of activity we do.
Regarding the budget, could I have some kind of assurance that you carry that over? So when you get a good year like this year, any underspend is actually carried over to the following year?
Right.
That we can make a commitment like that, because budgets are annual. However, what I would like to say is we've gone down the route of talking about seaweed. This is about the whole beach management plan. It's been an extraordinary comprehensive piece of work that's been done here. I'm particularly grateful to Louise Askew and Edwina Crowley for the work and support that you've put into this, and the whole of the tourism team, and Jean Reynolds especially. I went out with Jean and Paula probably over a year ago to draw up our own list of what we thought was needed to be done. I hope, Councillor King, you're pleased with St Mildred's Bay being included in here. That's in your ward. We identified with the consultants the priorities, and we've got to start somewhere. So thank you. I really want you to pass that thank you back to Louisa. Thank you, Edwina. So I've moved myself 6.1, and could I have a vote, please, members? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, everybody, for attending and for your contribution.